Back. Thank you again for watching Sunday Brunch with Lubna. And of course, we want to give out the number. It is 855-886-6387. Today we're talking about education. आज हमने बात की पढ़ाई की कि obviously दिल फाउंडेशन की बात की हम लोगों ने एक बहुत ज़बरदस्त NGO जगह है जहाँ पे आप जा सकते हैं दिल फाउंडेशन look into it definitely पर उसके अलावा हम बात कर रहे हैं the importance of educating the girls out there कि जब लड़की को पढ़ाते हैं तो किस तरह से वो फ़र्क पड़ता है लड़की में नहीं पूरे ख़ानदान को आप बनाते हैं right anyway we have a caller right now Usman from Boston आप on air हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Hi, hello Lubna, assalamu alaikum.
How are you today?
Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate the topic you have brought on your show, and your guests are very informative and very intellectual, and it has allowed these topics that you bring, especially the one today, it is imperative. It is imperative to have this kind of dialogue because in our culture, these things are usually, not usually, but every so often it is frowned upon because with the mindset of a woman that belongs, that should belong in a kitchen. However, in our culture and in our society, it's extremely important in this day and age for every woman to achieve education. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything in particular. It could be that the husband may not be stable enough, and the woman can also contribute. I think because, marriage is a 50-50 thing, and every woman should be educated. Families and should encourage it, but sadly, a lot of families still frown upon it. So, very good topic. Your shows are fantastic, and I really appreciate the great topics that you bring on the platform.
Thank you so much for those kind words. And we were talking about that you're also sitting right where Harvard and MIT is.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely. Thank you so much for your call. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Bye-bye.
And it's amazing, he was calling from Boston that, and you'll find out you couldn't hear it, but basically what he was saying was, how it's still frowned upon when a girl is getting educated. And it's important to discuss these things. We don't want to talk about it, but I think, and then you heard everything. What do you have to say?
Well, I think that he's got the right idea. The caller really understands the importance of the work that we're doing. It's why it's so important to support organizations like ours, which are combating a mentality that education is an exclusively for boys. And this caller understands the importance of having educated women, and that educated women have educated families, and it's a multi-generational effect that's created there. We've got to do more of that.
We've got to do more of that. And again, with callers like this, it shows how there are people out there who are, waiting to be a part of it, waiting to, do something about it. Anyway, I know we're just running out of time. It's amazing how our show just flew by. And for my viewers, मैं बता दूँ, जब show हमारा बहुत तेज़ी से चलता है ना, तो इसका मतलब है कि मेरे guests बहुत अच्छे हैं या something is with that. First of all, I do want to ask you, the first thing is, what message do you have for our viewers? Right now, सब लोग देख रहे हैं पूरे कनाडा में, पूरे US में. उनको आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे जो हमारा पहला कैमरा है आपकी तरफ आप उसको देख के you can say whatever you want, whatever message you want to say.
Thank you very much, Lubna. I appreciate that. I just want to convey to everybody that how fortunate we are to be here in the United States, to be in Canada, and the opportunities that we have are almost endless. Supporting an organization like Developments in Literacy is a way for us to be grateful for where we are and what we're able to have access to, and to do something for a part of the world where there's a need. Developments in Literacy is one of the most effective charities in the world, and education is that type of charity. Once you give it, it can never be taken away. We believe in empowered, educated women, and we would really appreciate your support. You can take a look at dil.org to learn more about the organization. We sincerely appreciate your support, and so thankful to Lubna for this amazing show and for having us here today.
Thank you so much. And of course, again, this message you're giving, I always make all my guests on the show leave their message, whatever you want to say. Leave people with that. Dr. Nilfar, I would want you to give whatever message you would want to give to our guests right now. You can look into the second camera, and whatever you feel like saying, you can go ahead and say that.
I want to thank Lubna for having us on the show today. It's been a wonderful opportunity. I hope that everybody out there has had a chance to hear us talk in a little bit of detail about what DIL does. I want to say that one of the concerns that we discussed that I think it's important to address is that a donation to DIL is very transparent. You are going to know that your funds are being used in the right way for a great cause. And so if you've been looking for a charity, we hope that you'll make DIL one of the charities that you can support, and no amount is too small. I want to emphasize that, whether it's $5, $10, or $50 or $100, any amount that you give is going to make a big difference in the life of a child in Pakistan. And we've got a long track record, almost 20 years now, of DIL doing this work in Pakistan very, very effectively.
Right, definitely. And, you know, again, this was a message for our viewers. One thing I wanted to ask both of you, and I think you already answered it. What made you be a part of this foundation?
Oh.
What inspired you to be a part of it?
Well, we have several events throughout the year, and there was an event that I went to that was just to raise awareness, and it was an iftar, and it was a great way to meet people, and it was hosted by Developments in Literacy, and I was just amazed at how effective the organization is. I was really attracted to its focus on girls' education, and I found that you know, really what brings ultimate happiness to people, right? Isn't it doing something for others, doing something good and feeling good about it? And I felt if I'm going to make a commitment to an organization, this would be a really great organization to commit to. The more I learned, the more I liked, and I would encourage others to do the same. Of
course, and you know, I really hope that in the future, I mean, I plan on attending your event. I'm going to tell you that, honestly speaking, not for today, which I'm going to talk about, but I will be there, and I'm going to definitely make sure that TV1 is a part of it, because I think it's important, you know, especially a platform like TV1 being watched in US and Canada. And even my show, I want it to be where we can kind of not educate the community, let people know, you know, this is what you can do. And it's not, of course, like you said, even $5, you know, even a little thing, we might be thinking of $5 kya hum denge. But that makes a difference if that's what you can do. And not only that, spreading the word, I think that's really important. And being a part of something. And most importantly, having your children be a part of these things. There's so many different organizations out there. And it's not just it's your foundation. Of course, you guys are doing a wonderful job. And obviously, you know, whenever I have my guest, and I'm laughing about this, I always do a little bit of a homework. Because, you know, if I'm representing you guys, if I'm talking about you guys, people are like, you know what, this is someone that, you know, Lubna is recommending or Lubna is talking about. I think that's such a, it's also scary. Because they might go, no, aapne kaha tha ye wo hai. So I think definitely.
Yeah, but you're doing the same work that we're doing, right? We wouldn't be able to tell people about what we're doing if not for people like you and for shows like yours. So we're just really grateful to have someone like you to be able to sit down and talk to.
No, thank you so much. And I know you guys have an event to go to today, right?
There's a picnic. That's right.
So if you can really quickly, for those people who are just waking up and are just putting on the TV program, about the event that's happening today. It's a free event that's happening, the Family Picnic.
Each year we do a couple of free awareness events and then a couple of things that are ticketed. So today there's a picnic in Buffalo Bayou Park. It's at the pavilion that's near the Sabine Street Bridge. It's from 2 to 5 p.m. this afternoon, weather permitting. I don't know what's going on out there right now, but as long as it hasn't rained, we're still having it. There's going to be a food truck that's going to be serving halal food for people to get, and it'll just be a fun time. It's a beautiful park for those who have not been there. It's really recently reopened and just gorgeous.
Exactly, definitely. And Dr. Nilfer, I want to thank you because I think we have to wrap up the show. Dr. Thank you so much for coming out, being a part of my show. It really means a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
No problem. And same thing with you. Thank you so much for coming out and being a part of the show.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Of course. Okay, and of course, another topic I just want to reiterate is we talked about education, we talked about literacy, and यहाँ पे भी I want to say that people have this theory that लड़की है उसको ना पढ़ाएं. You know, and I cannot emphasize enough. I've had someone who said, you know, I have a daughter and a son, and where I've had people say, you know, बेटा है तो ये कर ले, बेटी को ज़रूरत नहीं है करने के लिए. Why have that difference? I think times are changing. I think वक्त बदल रहा है. हम भी अपना आप को बदलें. I understand the old school thinking we had like centuries ago was different. But even then, there was a lot of things that females did out there. So even now, हम ये जो mentality, and I know I'm talking about this, and that person probably is watching right now, must be hating me. But you know, and you know what? It's their opinion. My show, something about that. Before I started my TV show, I did a radio talk show for about almost 4 years, and it was Topics. I was the pioneer of starting Topics on the radio here in Houston. And it was all about discussing different topics, discussing different things. And for me, being here since kindergarten, I know I've seen the other side. I've seen what my parents talk about. So I think that difference we have, be it, and I know we're talking about literacy today, कि पढ़ाना बच्चों को, बेटी हो बेटा हो, दोनों को पढ़ाएं आप. You know, ये choice, as a little while ago, Dr. Nilfer had said that in Pakistan, they would send the son away for miles and even overnight, but not daughter. But I think the foundation, what you guys are doing, giving that access to girls where the girls can go, you know, they have that luxury, or they have that, the simple thing that they're doing, it's going to make an impact on that.
For any society to be successful, everybody, the more education there is in that society, the more successful that society can be. Education is not exclusively for any one gender, it's for everyone.
Of course, of course. And what would you guys want to say about the show before you guys go, really quickly?
I had a lot of fun here today.
A lot of
fun. It was wonderful. And we were talking while we were having some of the commercial breaks that, you know, having a host or hostess who is so at ease puts the guests immediately at ease. It's just like having a wonderful conversation in someone's living room. So we've had a great time. It's been wonderful.
And for you to be such an advocate of great causes and to be such a positive influence our community, we hope to be back again.
Thank you. And I know in Ramzan you guys are doing another event, right?
Yes. We have an iftar every year. It's a wonderful dinner, a wonderful event.
I'll have to have these guys again in Ramzan.
All
because
right.
In Ramzan,
would love to.
I'd be up for that.
And especially, I think, you know, for a charity, especially I think it's in Ramzan, people kind of think, "Chalo zakat deni." I think that's also a time where you're like, "Oh, yaar, humne ye nahi kiya."
Yes.
And you know, you cannot be in Pakistan, but when you know, and again, I'm endorsing Dil Foundation, of course, because I think anyone who's doing something for education, they have my thumbs up. And not that it matters to anyone, but I think that's so important, you know, for this foundation. And besides that, when you guys are doing this thing, the iftar thing, it's also a place where you can bring other people, not just people from our community.
Absolutely.
People from our different community.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you again once again, and for the wonderful word. It really means a lot. आप लोगों को भी thank you कहना था कि आप लोगों ने भी part लिया show के अंदर. And you can call in always and give your comments. हमारी email address भी है. And thank you once again. Next week मुलाकात होगी 2 years with TV1, Sunday Brunch with Lubna. And जाने से पहले really quickly आप लोगों को बताना था, I want to say thank you to Roop Sari Palace providing me this gorgeous wardrobe. उनके पास लोन की भी कपड़े आए हुए हैं, तो जिन लोगों को लोन की सूटों का शौक है ज़रूर जाएं Roop Sari Palace. There's a reason why I choose them, right? Anyway, please आप लोग अपना बहुत ही अच्छा दिन गुजारिएगा. If you have time, go over there today at 2 o'clock at this event. And thank you so much for being a part of Sunday Brunch. And मुलाकात होगी अगले हफ्ते. दुआ में याद रखिएगा. अल्लाह हाफिज़.